This is Optimal Health Daily, episode 436. Eyelashes are not utensils, or 8 Strategies to Eat Mindfully, Part 1, by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com, and I'm your narrator, Dr. Neil. Hello, happy Monday, and welcome to another edition of Optimal Health Daily, where I read some of the best blogs covering health and fitness, just like an audiobook. Today's post has a strange title, I know, but I'll promise it'll make sense once you hear it. And the post is a bit longer than what I typically narrate. So, as usual, I'll read the first half today and then finish it up for you tomorrow. I'm sure you're super curious to hear this post, so let's jump right in as we optimize your life. Eyelashes are not utensils, or 8 Strategies to Eat Mindfully, Part 1, by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com. I'm a recovering yo-yo dieter. It seems weird and crazy to say that now, given how far I've come with mindful eating, selective indulgences, and learning to let go of food guilt. But once upon a time, I was the epitome of a neurotic eater. I've obsessively counted calories, tracked macronutrients down to the teaspoon of tomato sauce, weighed and measured every last morsel of food, and portioned tons of small meals into plastic containers. I've gone to bed hungry, eaten when I wasn't hungry, and dieted strictly Monday morning through Friday afternoon, only to binge my face off Friday night to Sunday night. I was the queen of yo-yo dieting, empress of obsession, captain of the binge and restrict team. I was shredded as and I was so miserable. And yes, while you can achieve leanness without the misery, that was unfortunately not the path I chose. I wasn't doing any of it for myself. I was doing it for approval. I was hustling for my worthiness, as Brené Brown would say. I was food-obsessed and physique-driven, and what it really came down to was this. I wasn't living fully, vibrantly, or wholeheartedly. I was living meal by meal. And because I was living meal by meal, I was never fully present. My mind was always engaged with food. When will I eat next? How many calories am I allowed to eat at this meal? How will I go to that party without overindulging? Is it time for me to eat yet? Okay, but seriously, can I eat now? I didn't even realize I had a problem until one of my dearest friends told me that she had stopped inviting me to social gatherings. Well, we just didn't want to sabotage your diet, she'd said. In fairness, she was looking out for me, but in truth, it was a painful slap in the face, one that I desperately needed. Over the last 5 years, I've worked diligently and creatively to cultivate what I call effortless eating strategies, simple and non-traditional ways of eating joyfully, while still maintaining a lean physique. I don't necessarily like to adhere to food rules, as I believe that food is equal parts sustenance and pleasure. But I do think that understanding your body and your triggers and adhering to a few strategies can help you nourish and honor your body with food more effectively. Today, I'm sharing with you one of the most effective strategies I've developed, something that has thoroughly changed my eating habits and the lens with which I view consumption. Coming to terms with this concept has helped heal my relationship with food and is one of the main contributing factors to my ability to eat without obsession. It's pretty simple, but it does require some explanation. You don't have to pick up food with your eyelashes. For the majority of my childhood, my dad raised my sister and me on his own. It was an arduous task and one that I adore and admire him for. As a mom myself, I know firsthand that parenting is far from easy. But to raise 2 stubborn, headstrong, rambunctious girls on your own, I honestly don't know how he did it and came out in one piece. In truth, he was pretty creative. I have the funniest memories of my dad throughout my childhood, but few that are quite as interesting as the way in which he would cajole my sister and me into cleaning our plates. In order to discourage us from leaving any food uneaten, he told us that in heaven, we would be forced to pick it up with our eyelashes. As you can probably imagine, hearing such a thing as a young, impressionable kid was downright frightening. I trusted my dad. He was a hard-working immigrant and the smartest person I knew. I truly believed him when he said it, which is why I reacted in the manner in which I did. I'm supposed to do what with my eyelashes? No thank you. I'll clean my plate every single time. It didn't matter if I was full or if I didn't like the food I ate and ate and ate until there was nothing left to eat. And thus, an overeater was born. Now, it's unlikely that you fell victim to the threat of eyelash utensils, but I'm sure your parents had their own version of clean your plate guilt. Perhaps they admonished you with tales of starving children, as so many parents seem to do. Sidebar. Yes, there are starving children all over the world, and yes, it's important that we teach our children gratitude, responsibility, and perspective. But let me ask you, does overeating help starving children? Does cleaning your plate do anything to put food on the plates of others? Truth be told, this was a difficult trigger for me to get past when I first began observing my eating habits. The thought of wasting food was downright abhorrent to me, even if it meant finishing a slice of pie that I no longer wanted to eat. I felt guilty, and that guilt led me to eat far more than was necessary. I've since learned to more effectively direct my energy by volunteering and making donations to hunger-fighting charities, and I recommend you do the same if you were brought up with the clean your plate mentality. And I found that instead of bullying my child into eating more than he needs, it's far more powerful to involve him in making and distributing meals to the local homeless population. To be continued. You just listened to part 1 of the post titled, Eyelashes Are Not Utensils, or 8 Strategies to Eat Mindfully by Neghar Fonooni of negharfonooni.com. Researchers have discovered that those behaviors we learn in childhood do translate to adult behaviors. I'll give you the most probably disturbing example of this. To quote a McDonald's executive, if you get them at 2, you've got them for life. What does that mean? Well, if you can get them hooked on your food when they're 2 years old, that behavior will translate into adolescence and adulthood. Have you ever really stopped to think, why do fast food places, which are supposed to be, places you just drive through, have these kinds of playhouses for kids? They have all these hamster-like tunnels for kids to go in and out of and slides and things like that. Why is that? And here's the other really scary part. Why do they always face the main road? Not done by accident. If you get them at 2, you've got them for life. So when kids are riding in the back seat with their parents, they spot that really cool, giant hamster-looking set of tunnels, and they say, "Can we stop there? That looks like fun." And while you're there, playing in the hamster-like tunnels with them, they want to eat. So it's not just fast food-related behaviors that translate into adulthood, but overeating as well. And we are finding through research that when kids are forced to clean their plate, as Ms. Fonooni mentioned, it can lead to overeating behaviors into adulthood. It basically can become a habit. So, of course, it's not the time to blame our parents or our caregivers for making us finish the food on our plate. They probably had the best intentions in mind. So instead, the thought is, well, what can we do moving forward to stop that behavior? Well, that's what we'll talk about tomorrow, of course. Now, really quickly, before we go, be sure to check out and subscribe to our other shows if you enjoyed this one. You can hear a lot more topics being read to you for free. Just search for Optimal Living Daily in your favorite podcast app or on Spotify to find the others. I thank you as always for listening today and every day. I'll be back tomorrow to finish up this post, so I'll see you there where your optimal life awaits.
Hello, Life Optimizer. This is Justin Malik, creator and producer of this show and Optimal Living Daily, the brother podcast of this one. Literally, I'm Dr. Neil's brother. If you like the format of this show, you'll love Optimal Living Daily too, where I also read to you from blogs, but cover other topics like personal development, finance, and minimalism from bloggers like Derek Sivers, The Minimalists, Zen Habits, and many more. So for more amazing content read to you for free, come subscribe to Optimal Living Daily too, and together we'll optimize your life.
You've been listening to Optimal Health Daily. Be sure to hit the subscribe button to stay up to date on each new episode, and head to oldpodcast.com. That's oldpodcast.com for a free gift, as well as more actionable tips and resources to help you maximize your potential. Thanks for joining us, and remember, your optimal life awaits.